Ευχαριστούμε πολύ για τις...
Thank you very much for these two truly excellent speeches we just heard that are not related to the so-called theological field, but still they did present some major truths for which we are grateful. Now, as far as the second speech is concerned, we heard some excellent results and, let's say, ignorance that the artificial intelligence showed. And I guess we saw that the artificial intelligence said that I cannot do anymore. I'm rather, let's say, exhausted. Needless to say that the term artificial intelligence is correct, because to have artificial intelligence, we need to have nous, we need to have human intelligence. So in other words, leaving that aside, I could say terminus technicus, so yes, we can accept the term artificial intelligence. I also believe that this part is very important. So as far as the first speech is concerned, per the topics, as far as the benefits of artificial intelligence in space research, but there is no ethical concern whenever there is not a human person. So an ethical concern in artificial intelligence does not exist, because the ethical responsibility relies always on humans and persons, and not a technical or artificial intelligence or a process or any other situation. That's all. These were just comments, no question. I wish to thank my dear colleague for his comment. His comment was rather useful. Now, what I believe is that artificial intelligence has a long way and road ahead. I'm rather worried, to be honest, because, for instance, the Nobel Prize in Physics this year was given to Himpold, a guy, an IT guy, let's say, who worked in Google in the United States. And he said, I'm going to resign because what I have really worries me. And as this guy says this thing, that he was vice president of this committee of Google for AI, this means that he actually knows something. Now, I don't know what he actually meant, what things which are upcoming are going to be, let's say, worrying. We haven't seen something like that, we as, let's say, people, but as His Eminence said, there are things that are going to arrive which are going to be rather worrying, but as Orthodox, we have this richness of our tradition. I remember I met Callisto Ware when I had my PhD, and he delivered a speech, and he knew Greek, and he was also a monk in Patmos, and say, oh my God, you Orthodox, he was an Anglican, he went Orthodox, you have gold in your hands, and you are not aware of that. So you're not aware of the gold you have. So we have the gold in our hands. So Father Zacharias is also here in the monastery. So let's try to transfer to artificial intelligence the teachings of our tradition. This is a deficit, this is a lack, so we need to, this is a gap, and we need to work on that. There's nothing to be afraid of, because our Christ is our example, that 2,000 years we have lived under the paradigm of Christ, so this is an experimental information. So add it to the machine. I do not say to young people that, for instance, that artificial intelligence is God, because this is a message that is actually right now being disseminated. Comments off microphone cannot be translated.
Σωστά. Σωστά.
Προς επιβεβαίωση των όσων είπε ο κύριος.
Now, to corroborate what Mr. Economos said, in the Orthodox Academy of Crete, especially via the annual CERN conferences, we see that it is actually asked to have a roundtable discussion where we discuss different challenges related to science and religion. So there is this need to hear some other voices, but still, allow me to say that this year, during the discussions, we saw that CERN, or let's say physicists that work at CERN, do have the results of artificial intelligence, but they're incapable of identifying the solution, how they arrive at the solution. So CERN, at the moment, let's say, forbids scientists to use artificial intelligence by saying that this experiment will be their own experiment without the use of AI. Oh my God, that was very interesting. I didn't know it.
We will need to make at 1:50 a hard stop because people are waiting for lunch.
Παναγιώτης Νιάρχος από το Εθνικό
I'm Panagiotis Niarchos from the National University of Athens. First and foremost, I would like to thank and congratulate my two colleagues from the University of Athens who managed to present in the best possible way this topic as regards the space research and astrophysics. What I humbly want to say is that I've been working research in life in the whole world, so where artificial intelligence can be used. Research is in our solar system, and especially in planet Mars, and also in the satellite planets, Gelos and Titanos and Kronos. No, in Mars, as the previous speaker said, we have the rover Perseverance. They managed to find organic molecules on Mars. But we do not know whether these organic molecules are related to existing previous life or to some abiotic cases. So we need AI to be able to do this distinction and study and conduct the research and say whether this indeed to the existence of some kind of form of life, relying, of course, to the to Earth. Now, the second aspect of artificial intelligence is identifying life in planets outside the solar system. We talk about how these can be identified and how this can artificial intelligence provide. But I need to say that over there we use artificial intelligence to be able to, let's say, elaborate the huge amount of data that we get from the radio telescope, 1 terabyte per second we receive from radio telescopes. So the data that we can find in a good laptop late nowadays. So artificial intelligence is already in use, and it is used to be able to distinguish which of these radio signals are techno-signatures, as we say. In other words, whether they're sent from other intellects or whether these are just sources on Earth, so there was a parasite. So indeed, we have received results. We have discovered 8 such signals that cannot be explained, cannot be identified, cannot be corroborated with data from Earth. So this is the latest question that scientists work on. So hopefully research shall continue and extract some results. To conclude, I'd like to congratulate the organizers of this conference, this excellent conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We seem to have an urgent question in the back. If keep it really brief, right there. And that would be the last question, please, but please keep it very brief.
Thank you. I just wanted to speak up for AI, because we heard from the professor that his AI was unable to answer a fairly simple question. I typed the same question into ChatGPT just now about what's the theories for explaining the fine structure constant, and it gave me a wonderful essay. It says this is an unknown question, but there's at least 8 lines of research: anthropic principle, mathematical theories, grand unified theories, string theories, multiverse theories, quantum gravity and Planck scale, and so on. So don't believe, audience, that AI is as impoverished as this professor has told you. AI, when you program it correctly, can do wonderful things. It is my experience again and again. When I hear people saying AI is not very creative, they themselves are not very creative in how they're interacting with it. And when I hear people saying that AI is not very intelligent, I find that they've interacted with AI in quite a limited, rather stupid way. So I speak up for AI, and if you have a limited view on what AI is going to do, you're going to be very taken by surprise in the next few years. Get ahead of it with a realistic understanding rather than with a naive understanding of what AI can do. I heard earlier in the previous session at the end, one of the eminences say, oh, it's going to be 20 or 30 years, and he quoted Sam Altman. Sam Altman actually said we could have general intelligence within just 1 year. He said that 2 weeks ago. So let's not be naive here. Let's realize what AI can do. And I'll happily discuss this with anybody over the next half a day when I'm still here. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, thank you everyone for starting the session. Thank you.